The United States has great strength and patience, but if it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea. Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime. The United States is ready, willing, and able, but hopefully this will not be necessary.
Well, that was Donald Trump delivering a stern warning to North Korea during a speech before the United Nations today. Tina Park joins me now. And Tina, you're the co-founder of the Canadian Centre for the Responsibility to Protect and also a specialist in Korean relations with the Munk School. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about Trump's words here. I mean, he said total destruction of North Korea. What do you make of those words?
I thought it was extremely excessive. We've certainly seen a pattern of President Trump making various statements directly himself on Twitter account, and something like fire and fury certainly raised the alarm bells and heightened the tensions between the United States and North Korea. But this was a prepared speech, and in the audience of distinguished members of the international community, and I think he frankly missed an opportunity to make an important statement about the American position on North Korea and how the North Korean regime is posing a threat that is of concern not just for the East Asian order, but for the international community at large.
And like you said, this was a scripted speech. It wasn't ad-libbed, it wasn't a tweet. And it was scripted. He read off a teleprompter. He used words like depraved, band of criminals. We heard rocket man, suicide mission. Are those words of a president at the United Nations?
I think we're certainly looking at a very different kind of president of the United States, and these types of bellicose rhetoric feeds right into the North Korean psyche and their own rhetoric about the threat that the United States poses for the survival of the North Korean regime.
How will Kim Jong-un react to those words specifically and the speech?
I have no doubt that Kim Jong-un will use the very words used by President Trump to justify further investment in military weapons. There will likely be another ballistic missile test of some sort. And for decades, North Korean regime justified their own nuclear investments and their other conventional weapons as a self-defense mechanism against the American threat. So when you have President Trump using words like total destruction, then it just gives enough of excessive justification for the North Korean regime.
Will this scare off other countries maybe who might try to ally with North Korea even behind the scenes? Is that why he uses powerful language today?
I'm actually very doubtful of that because the allies and the friends that North Korean regime have, frankly, do not care about what President Trump says. We're looking at non-state terror groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. We're looking at countries like Iran and Syria, all of whom buy weapons from North Korea, and this is a very lucrative business for North Korea. And this is why the past efforts with UN sanctions haven't worked, because North Korea has business deals with these countries. So to what extent does President Trump's words today at the UN General Assembly help us in any way in terms of achieving peace on the Korean Peninsula? My answer is absolutely nothing, right? It was just his own personal views on how best to engage with North Korea, and that, frankly, will not get us very far.
Tina, thank you for coming in and sharing your thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you.